Oh, excellent.
I'm Ranga. I'm from Morgan Hill.
Welcome, welcome. Michelle from Sunnyvale.
Michelle from Sunnyvale. Hi, Michelle. All right. And I'm Ellen. I live in Redwood City. So yeah, feel free to post in the chat, or you can just verbally let us know where you're coming from. And video is optional. Always like to see people. So, you know, I can check for proper form and everything, but if you're camera shy, you're welcome to leave your video off. No worries. So we should have a pretty good sized group today. As you say, when we have more people, it's a little easier to hide, especially when we're on Zoom. All right. So again, welcome everyone to our Heart Healthy Habits webinar. Just please note that this will be recorded and we are going to be sharing this. Some people couldn't make it after and did ask for the recording. If you prefer not to be on video, you're welcome to turn your video off. By default, everyone will be muted. If you do have a question, go ahead and unmute yourself or just post in the chat room. And as people continue to file in, you can go ahead and post in the chat where you're from. Also, if you have any technical difficulties, feel free to post in the chat as well.
All righty.
All right, I guess we'll get started. And then as people file in, we'll let people file in. Okay, cool. All right, so a couple quick housekeeping things. Once again, everyone's going to be muted upon entry. Video is automatically on, but if you don't want to be on video, you can turn that off. Again, this is going to be recorded and it is going to be posted after this class. Okay, probably sometime tomorrow. There is a reactions icon in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. You can use that to raise your hand or, any sort of reaction. You can even, say slow down, speed up, whatever you would like. Okay. And you can use the chat room to post where you're from. And if you have any questions, we will try to monitor it, throughout. And if you have general questions, we will answer those at the end of the event. So we left about 5 or 10 minutes for Q&A at the end. Okay. And I guess that's it. Okay. So quick intro. Hi again, I'm Ellen and I'm in Redwood City and I'm a certified RRCA coach. I've been certified for almost 6 years now, and I'm a local Bay Area run club leader and fitness instructor. And I've been teaching almost exclusively virtually for almost 2 years. I've been running for a bit more than 20 years. I actually calculated this year, I've been running for like half my life now. I'm also a Boston Marathon qualifier, and I've run and coached every distance from the 5K to the marathon, all ages, all levels, from the beginner to the seasoned marathoner.
Awesome. And yes, hello everyone. Thanks for being here tonight for Heart Healthy Habits. My name is Emily Zorn and I am a registered dietitian and health coach. And I started off my career in sports nutrition. I worked with collegiate and professional athletes for about 5 years at Ohio State, University of Illinois, and the Chicago Cubs. And then I decided I wanted to start my own private practice. So that's what I do now. I do virtual nutrition coaching. And while I do work with some active people, I'm no longer just working with athletes. I also just love helping people learn how to eat healthy in a way that's sustainable, where they can still enjoy all of the foods that they still love. So we'll learn a little bit more about that later, because today for this workshop, as you all likely know, the first half hour is going to be a workout with Ellen. So we're going to get our hearts pumping, like really walk the walk, which is what we're wanting to do today. Not just learn about heart health, but actually do something about it. So a half hour workout, and then I'll be talking for a little bit about the nutrition side. So what can we eat that's good for our hearts? And also everyone will have a little bit of homework. We're not just learning today, we're also going to put some stuff into practice, because we can learn all this stuff in the world, but without actually putting it into practice, it does us no good. So really looking forward to that. We will also have a Q&A at the end. So hang around. If you have any questions throughout, feel free to put them in the chat. If we don't get to them, no problem. We'll be sure to get to them at the end. So yeah, without further ado, Ellen, are we ready for our workout?
Yeah, I think so. So for those of you who've never done this before, you don't need any equipment. Yoga mat is helpful. Otherwise, a carpeted area so you can kind of pad your knees a little bit. Shoes are optional. It's completely up to you. I do recommend having some water and a sweat towel. Okay. All right. So it's going to be about a 28-minute workout. So just so you know what to expect. So let's stand up and let's start walking and jogging in place, walking or jogging in place. All right, 3, 2, 1, let's go. All right, so you can walk or you can jog. So every 30 seconds, we're going to change up the warm-up exercise, okay? I always have low impact options for everyone. So if you don't want to jump, you don't want to run, you don't have to, okay? And I will be changing my angle on occasion just so you can see it from different angles. Hopefully the lighting in this room is okay. Keep going, walk or jog in 3, 2, 1. Fingertips behind your head, feet hip width apart. Let's do some good mornings, okay? So you're hinging over about halfway and standing up. Halfway, stand up. Again, feet are hip width apart, knees are gentle bent. And fold over, stand up. Fold over, stand up. And 3, 2, 1. Let's do some air squats. Keep your feet right where they are. Let's do some air squats. So you can have your arms out if you like, or if you prefer, you can do prayer position. Okay. Here's the side view. So really kind of drop that booty down. Please see if you can get your thighs parallel to the ground. Okay, make sure your knees don't go past the toes.
Ellen, I also wanted to let you know your speed up button is still there. So I don't know if you want to click out. It's not a big deal, but there you go.
Thank you. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's do some inchworms. Crawl it out to a high plank. Crawl your hands back to your feet. If you want to get fancy, you can crawl out to the high plank, add a push up, crawl your hands back. Okay, so the push-up is optional. Three, 2, 1. All right, let's stand up. Stationary lunges, left leg in front, right leg in back. Drop that knee down. So that knee should not touch the ground, okay? You get to about an inch or 2 above the ground, come right back up. And that front knee should not go past the toes. Down and up, down and up. 3, 2, 1. Switch the feet, right foot in front, left foot in the back. Same thing, stationary lunge. Or some people call this split squat. Drop that knee down to an inch or 2 above the ground, come right back up. Keep that back nice and tall. Few more. And 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, go ahead and grab a quick sip of water. We're going to go right into our first set. Okay, it's going to be 30 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. It's going to fly really quickly, okay? So the first one is going to be jumping jacks, okay? So jumping jacks look like this or low impact. All right, are we ready? Let's go in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Jumping jacks. So again, if you don't want to do high impact, you can do low impact, which is 1 foot out at a time, okay? Try to get your fingers to touch at the top, okay? So roughly every third exercise is going to be cardio. We're going to get that heart pumping. We're going to get that sweat dripping. Make sure you're breathing. 4, 3, 2, 1, rest. All right, second exercise is going to be the air squat. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So just like we did in the warm-up, get those arms straight out. Drop that booty down. Make sure the knees don't go past the toes. Down and up, down and up. Again, you can have your hands in prayer position if you like. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, everyone on the ground. Legs straight, straight legs sit up. 3, 2, 1, begin. Come all the way up, touch your ankle, come down. Touch your ankle, come down. So straight arm, straight leg. We're working the abs now. Five seconds. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, on your feet again. We're doing high knees. High knees. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Get those knees up. Again, if you don't want to do high impact, you can do high knee march. Okay? Swinging those arms, getting those knees up. This is the low impact version. High impact. Get those knees up. 7 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Rest. All right, next we've got forward alternating lunges. Step out together. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Step out together. Step out together. So again, when you step out, make sure that knee does not go past the toes. That back knee does not get to touch the ground. The back is nice and flat. Try not to lean forward. Keep your core strong. 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, next we've got glute bridges. Glute bridges, we're laying on the back. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So my knees are bent. My feet are hip width apart. I'm using my glutes and my hips to come up and down. On the up, I can draw a straight line from my knees to my shoulders, okay? And try not to use your hands to push your body up, okay? So if need be, have your palm facing toward the ceiling so you don't cheat. 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, next exercise, we've got butt kicks. Butt kicks. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Heel to butt. Okay? More cardio. If you need low impact, here is your low impact version. Pull the arms back, heel to butt. High impact, and a little bit more intensity. 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, we are going into a sumo squat. Get your feet nice and wide, toes away from each other. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Drop that booty down. With the hands, you can do prayer position like I'm doing. You can have your hands out straight if you like. But really try to get the booty down low, okay? Feel it in the inner thigh here. Knees are pointed far away from each other. 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, we are on the ground. We are doing leg raises, and we are drawing hearts, okay? 3, 2, 1, let's go. So with your 2 feet, your legs are together, you're just tracing the shape of a heart, okay? I encourage you to change directions each time. So draw one half of a heart, draw the other half, and then go the other direction, okay? And make sure you kind of pause. So legs are long, feet are together, draw a heart. As we work our abs. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, everyone stand up again. We are doing thrusters, okay? Feet back together, 3, 2, 1, let's go. So this is like a half burpee, okay? The low impact version, foot back, foot up, hands out, okay? We never quite stand up in this one. When we come up, our knees are bent, okay? So feel that burn in your quads, in your glutes. So these are called thrusters. 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, next we've got reverse alternating lunge with a twist. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So reverse, twist to the other leg, back, together. Reverse, twist to the outside leg, back, together. So when I step back with my right, I twist to my left. When I step with my left foot, I twist out to my right, okay? So reverse alternating lunge with a twist. Four, 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, we've got heart-shaped swimmers. Everyone on your stomach. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So think of yourself as doing the breaststroke. You're making a shape of a heart, okay? So I'm moving my arms, moving my legs. If you have low back issues, leave your legs on the ground and just do the upper body, okay? Nice and slow, working at that back. 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, everyone stand up. We are doing squat jumps. Squat jump, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Touch the ground, jump up. If you don't want to do high impact, touch the ground, calf raise. Okay, here it is. Touch, calf raise, touch, calf raise. High impact, feet leave the ground. Remember to bend your knees on the way down and kind of straighten your legs on the way up. 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, next we've got the crab walk. Okay, we're on the ground, hands on the ground, and 3, 2, 1, let's walk. So your butt is off the ground, okay? And you are moving forward and back like a little crab. This is working the arms. This is working the core. This is working your balance. 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, what do we got next? All right, we've got V-ups. All right, everyone on the ground. Legs in a V, arms in a V. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So up together, down together. Up together, down together. Legs are in a long V. Arms are in a V. Now, if you have low back issues, you come up, bend your knees, okay? This is the modification. If you cannot do it with straight legs, go ahead and bend your knees on the way up. Otherwise, if you feel okay, go ahead and straighten your legs like a V. 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right. One more. Fast feet. Fast feet. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Move those feet as fast as you can, okay? Now, if you don't want to do high impact, do low impact, fast feet march, okay? Only requirement is you move your feet fast. Get those arms going, okay? Kind of like you're sprinting. It's only a 30-second sprint, okay? Actually, only 10 seconds left. Go, 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 go. We get a break after this. 4, 3, 2, 1, rest. All right, the next interval is a 30-second break. Please get some water, wipe off your sweat, and we're gonna do round 2.
Ellen, my heart is pumping.
Yeah?
Great workout. Yes.
Anyone else's heart pumping? Go ahead and hit me that heart reaction. So round 2 is going to be the same 16 exercises, but we're going to get a heart into each one, okay? So the first one, the jumping jack, you can make a heart if you want, or you can make it with your fingers, okay? So we're going to get started in 8 seconds. Jumping jacks with that heart, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. So at that heart at the top, it's almost like when you do the YMCA, this is like the letter M. Okay, again, if you need to do low impact, go ahead and do low impact, okay? So your fingers are kind of touching the middle of your head, okay? The other way to do it, you can make a heart with your forefinger and your thumb, which is a little bit trickier. 4, 3, 2, 1, rest. All right, air squat. This time we're going to make a heart and push it out. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So push out the heart on the way down. Heart comes back to your chest on the way up, okay? My heart actually feels like it's about to pop out of my chest right now. It is pumping hard. So push that heart out, come back in. Push that heart out, come back in. Again, making sure your knees do not go past the toes. 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, on the ground for glute bridge. Knees are bent, feet are hip width apart. Make that heart with your fingers. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So I'm holding my heart at the top as I engage my hips and my glutes. Okay, if this is too challenging, you can let your arms rest by your side, okay? But if you can, hold that heart up, straight arms, glute bridges. So your heart rate should come down just a little bit when we're on the ground. And then in a couple seconds, we'll come right back up. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Woo! All right. Okay, next we've got our high knees. High knees. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So again, if you want to make that heart, you can go in and out with that heart, okay? In and out, in and out. Again, do the low impact if you need to. Get that heart in and out. So we're engaging the arms a little bit on this set. 3, 2, 1, rest. All right, next we've got the forward alternating lunges with the heart each time we step out. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So as I step forward, I push the heart out. So we alternate left and right. When you step back together, heart comes back in. So this is a little bit more challenging than hands on your hips. Engaging the core, engaging the arm. We're forcing our bodies to balance a little bit more. 4, 3, 2, 1, rest. All right, next we've got sit-ups. Right, long arms, long legs. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So on the way up, you can make that heart with your fingers, touch your ankle, make that heart come all the way down, okay? So I thought of however many creative ways I could to get that heart embedded into every exercise. So come play along with me. If you can, 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, okay. Next we got butt kicks, butt kicks. 3, 2, 1. Again, if you want to do the low impact, you pull the arms back, heel to the butt. High impact is with that jump, okay? And you can push that heart out. Heart, heart, heart. I don't know about all you, but I am dripping sweat. This is the coldest room in my house, but the sweat is falling from my brow. 4, 3, 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, next we got sumo squats. Get those feet out nice and wide. Get that heart ready. 3, 2, 1, let's go. On the way down, push the heart out. On the way up, bring the heart in. Again, we want to try to drop the booty down as low as you can. Really feel that in the inner thigh here. 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, leg raises. We're on the ground. We're drawing hearts with our legs. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So trace a heart one direction, heart in the other direction. Make sure you pause. When you pause, you get to feel that burn in your lower abs. Let your heart rate come down just a little bit. A few more seconds. Maybe like one more heart. 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, standing up. Next, we've got our thrusters. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So here's the low impact. 1 foot back, 1 foot back, 1 foot forward, 1 foot forward. Show your heart. High impact, same thing. Feet back together, feet up together. Show that heart. Four, 3, 2, 1, rest. All right, great job, everyone. All right, we've got 6 more exercises. Reverse alternating lunge with a twist. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Reverse, twist that heart out, come back. Reverse, twist that heart out, come back. I'll change my angle here. Step back, twist, twist, step back. Make sure you do your step before you twist, okay? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, on the ground, heart-shaped swimmers. So think breaststroke. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Breaststroke. As you do the breaststroke, when your hands come back to your side, you come back up. Again, if your back is bothering you, leave your legs on the ground, okay? If your back doesn't bother you, add the legs in. Total body engagement. 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, next we've got squat jumps. Squat jumps. Touch and jump. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Touch and jump. If you want to do low impact, touch, calf raise. Touch, calf raise. At the top, at a heart. At a heart. Show your heart at the top. 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, crab walk. Crab walk. You're on the ground. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So hip up high, walk forward. When you get to the end of your walkway, go backwards. The only rule is your butt has to be lifted. Your butt cannot touch the ground, okay? Move as slowly as you need to. This is not an easy exercise. 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, 2 more. Okay, we've got V up. Long legs, long arms. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Up and down, up and down. Remember, if your low back bothers you, feel free to bend the knees in on the way up, okay? If your low back doesn't bother you, I want your legs straight, okay? Arms should be straight at all times. Three, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, lastly, we have fast feet. Fast feet. All right, this is it. 3, 2, 1, let's go. And speed. Show me your heart, everyone. Or you can show me your heart like this, either way. You can also march. If you don't want to do the jog part, you can do a march. Fast feet. 15 seconds to go. Pull that heart out or pull that heart up high. Keep that heart pumping. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. All right, water break. Water break. Great job, everyone. You've made it to your cool down. So let's get back on the ground and let's stretch a couple minutes. Okay, I want everyone on your back. Hug both your knees to your chest. So let's hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, hold the right knee into the chest, drop the left leg down, and hold. It's a single knee hug. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and switch. Hug that left knee into the chest, drop that right leg on the ground, and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Hands reach through and grab that left hamstring. This is the figure 4 stretch, AKA piriformis stretch. Let's hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's switch sides. So cross that left ankle over the right thigh, hands reach through, pull back on that right hamstring. So feet should be off the ground. Hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Now we're going to do the hamstring stretch. So right leg straight up in the air, left leg flat on the ground. Hands grab the right calf or the right hamstring. Okay, we never grab the knee, and that's to protect your knee. And try to keep that leg straight. Hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that right leg down. Bring the left leg up and hold. Again, grab either the left calf or the left hamstring, never the knee. Let's hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. All right. Everyone come onto all fours quickly, okay? Let's round the back and flatten the back. So cat-cow, okay? Round the back, flatten the back. Round the back and flatten the back. All right, slowly come to your feet. Everyone stand up. We're gonna end, inhale, exhale. So feet are hip width apart. Bring the arms up, make a heart if you like. Inhale, exhale. One more, all the way up. Inhale and exhale. All right, great work, everyone. That was about 29 minutes. So I finished when I said I would. Great work. Please grab some water, a sweat towel, get settled in, and we're going to turn the mic over to Emily in a second. But before we do, if folks are willing to, I usually take a picture at the end of my classes. If you're willing to turn on your video for like 3 seconds, I would love to get a quick class photo. And then if you want to turn it back off, you're welcome to. All right, here we go. All right. Oh, it's so nice to see everyone. Okay, I'll wait a couple more seconds in case anybody else wants to turn on their video. Ooh, I am dripping sweat. Okay. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, everyone smile. All right, got it. Thank you all so much. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Emily now, who's going to share with us some nutrition tips.
All right. Wow. Good job, everyone. I just did. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm not muted anymore. I just did that with you. And man, I'm sweating. So thank you, Ellen. I needed that for sure. Great. Thank you all for being here. You know, like I said before we did that workout, what I love about this workshop today is that we're really putting things into action. We're not just talking about it saying, oh, wouldn't it be so nice if we, you know, were healthy and had healthy hearts and did all the right stuff, but you all just did half the battle, right? You're here working out, our hearts are pumping, and that's really awesome. So kudos to all of you. So yes, as you all know, I am a dietitian, so I'm here to talk about the healthy eating side of heart health. And, you know, before we get into it, I just wanted to start by talking about some application, because everything I'm about, it's all about putting it into practice. So I'm going to be sharing a lot of nutrition info with everyone today. And, you know, before I get into that, I did just want to say, if anyone has questions, you can raise your actual hand, you can raise your virtual hand, or type in the chat. I'll try to get to them as they come in, but if I miss a question or if I'm not answering your question, we're going to save time at the end for a Q&A. So I'm going to try to keep this to 20 minutes. So we'll do that, have time for the Q&A at the end, but please feel free to ask any questions you have. So like I was saying, I could go on and on about nutrition for hours and hours. We could read a whole textbook about nutrition, but it doesn't do any of us any good unless we put it into practice. And another thing to keep in mind is that, okay, I'm going to share just talking about heart health for 20 minutes. I'm going to share all sorts of different info, and I don't want anyone to take everything I talk about and say, well, now I have to do all of that starting right now. I'm all about realistic application. So I'm going to share this slide. And like I said, we're going to have a little bit of homework today, but it's nothing crazy. What I want you all to do as you are going through and hearing about all of this heart health nutrition, really think about 1 to 2 things that stick out to you that would be really impactful for you. You know, nutrition, it is super personalized. And in a setting like this, all I can do is share very general information. So look through, and as we're talking about this today, pick 1 to 2 things that would really make a difference for you. And that would be realistic to put into place, doable, something you know you could stick with, and truly just stick to those 1 to 2 things. So ask yourself, whatever you decide on, whatever stands out to you, ask yourself, can I continue this for the long term? And I'm not talking the next week or month. I'm talking something that's small enough that we could put it into practice to the point where it becomes a habit. And a year from now, you're not even thinking about it. That's ideal. I always like to tell people consistency over intensity. I hate diets because that's the definition of intensity. You go all out for a month, then you burn out, and then you go back to how you were eating before. It's all about small incremental changes that we can do every single day. So that's consistency. That's my spiel about that. But let's get into some actual heart healthy nutrition info here. So one other big pet peeve I have is when people give nutrition advice and say, don't eat this and don't eat that and cut this out. And when it comes to heart health, there are things that people say, don't eat sugar and don't eat saturated fat, don't eat salt. we know that, right? We know the foods that aren't as healthy for us. I want to focus on things that we can eat more of that's going to make our heart healthy. So these are the 4 things that really stick out for me as heart healthy things. It's fiber, vitamins and minerals, lean protein, and healthy fats. If we eat more of these things, we're going to have healthy hearts. So I'm going to go through all of them and just talk a little bit about these 4 things. So the first is fiber. And fiber is found in fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and it's so important because it's really filling and it's good for our heart because it can actually help lower cholesterol. So notice I'm not saying cut out eggs and cut out steak and all the things with saturated fat. You can eat those things, but it's really important to eat a lot of food with fiber to balance it out. And recommendations for men, I'm sorry, your recommendations are a lot higher than women. So about 38 grams per day. For women, it's about 25 grams per day. So how can we even reach that amount? The best way to do it is going to be through whole foods. Ranga, I see you have a question. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong.
Sorry for interrupting. So this 38 grams, regardless of the weights.
Yes. This one, it's interesting because we'll talk about protein too, and that one is based on weight, the amount that's recommended. But yes, with fiber, they've just said this is the one where for all men, the recommendation is 38 grams per day.
Okay, thank you.
Really good question. Okay. Yes, so sources of fiber, the things you see here. There's whole fruits and vegetables, whole grains, brown rice, oats, quinoa, all of that stuff. So good news is another thing that's heart healthy is vitamins and minerals, and you get those from the same foods that you get fiber from. So we all know this, vitamins and minerals are just important for overall health, and you get a lot of those from fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. So double duty, if you're eating these foods, you're getting fiber, vitamins, and minerals, and that's half of the things that you want to get more of. So that is good news for us all. The next thing is lean proteins. And I know that's not the clearest picture in the world, so I'm going to explain what all of those things are, but lean protein is important for heart health because it is filling, it is satisfying. It's the piece of our meal that when we eat enough of it, we're going to feel satisfied so we don't have to eat again for a few hours. So we really want to make sure we're getting enough protein. And lean means low fat. So most of the protein that we eat, we want it to be low fat proteins. And like I was just saying, the amount for this one, I'm not even going to put a gram amount on here because it's different for every single person based on your goals, height, weight, age, gender, your activity, all sorts of things. I wish I could go through and, help everyone and say, oh, this is exactly what we need. But that's where nutrition just gets too personalized for our talk today. But if you are interested and you're curious, oh, am I getting enough protein? How can I get enough protein? Please do reach out. I love chatting with people about their goals and how to help get them there. So at the end, Ellen and I are going to share all of our information. But if you're interested in taking all of this and making it personalized to you, definitely let me know. I saw some things come in the chat. Oh, how about from vitamin supplements? Great question. So and that's, I'm guessing, for the vitamins and minerals slide. So I always say food first. If we can get all the fiber and vitamins and minerals that we need from food, awesome. I also recognize that's not always realistic for everybody. So if there's no way that you can get what you need, if you're not able to eat fruits and vegetables every day, throughout the day, spread out all of that, then it's okay to take a supplement. Shoot me an email if you have specific questions on supplements, because there are some that are better than others, but not everyone needs to take a vitamin, but it can be helpful if you're not getting what you need, but we always want to get it from food first, if possible. Great question. Okay, so then lean proteins, what even are there? So if you're a meat eater, that's going to mostly be poultry, like turkey and chicken, really lean proteins. A lot of good, like white fish tends to be a lean protein as well. Some steaks even, you know, there are low fat red meats. But if you're a vegetarian or vegan, you still have options, right? There's beans and nuts don't tend to be a lean protein, right? They're not low in fat, but they have healthy fats, which we're going to talk about next. So eggs are another really great option. So luckily there's a lot of things out there, but yeah, those are just some of the different options. All right, and last for this section is talking about healthy fats. So again, healthy fats are super great for the heart. Another thing that can help combat cholesterol. So healthy fats, I know I've been mentioning saturated fat, and what I mean by that is what we'd consider a less healthy fat. And that's found mostly from animal sources like butter and red meat and things like that. The healthier fats usually tend to come from plants like nuts and avocado, olive oil. The one exception is that salmon there. That's obviously an animal, but it is has a lot of really healthy fat. You might have heard of the term omega-3s. That's what these are, healthy fats. Things like chia seeds and flax seeds also have healthy fats in them. So lots of good stuff. And this is super healthy for the heart. Oh, Ellen, good question. Examples of calcium-rich foods other than dairy products. Okay, so this one's kind of tough because there is some calcium found in some vegetables, but it's not as well absorbed as in dairy products, and that's why it can be hard to get enough calcium just if you don't eat dairy. But it is fortified in lots of different non-dairy foods, like soy milk, I know has a lot of fortified calcium, and that's totally fine. But those are just a couple of things that really come to mind when I think of, okay, non-dairy calcium. I'm sure there's more, but that's the first thing that came to my mind. And it's okay to eat, you know, foods that are fortified with calcium. It's totally fine. Great. Okay. So yeah, healthy fats, really good thing to keep in your diet for heart health. Your heart will be happy. We want to, you know, mix these in every day if we can. So we just talked about all sorts of different foods. So I wanted to put together just a really quick sample of a day of heart healthy eating. So for breakfast, that might be oatmeal and berries, lots of fiber there, vitamins, minerals, with a side of Greek yogurt for the protein. You always want to have some protein in all your meals. Lunch, we have the whole wheat bread, which is giving us fiber, veggies on the bread, an apple. We have healthy fat from the peanut butter, and we're getting some protein from the turkey and cheese. A snack, trail mix, a great way to get some healthy fat in there. And then dinner, when it comes to heart healthy meals, like, this is pretty much as good as it gets. You have some, you know, complex starch, you have the sweet potato, you have broccoli and salmon, like all of it wrapped together, really, really nice. But luckily you don't have to eat this every single day, all the time, to have to be heart healthy. Nice sweet potato, Ellen, I love that. This is just one example. So yeah, feel free to take a screenshot of this if this is interesting to you. But any of these things can be mixed and matched with anything that we just talked about earlier in the presentation. And at the bottom, I know at the beginning, I mentioned a little bit about what I do, and a big piece of it is making whatever I work with a client on, I want it to be sustainable for the rest of their life, right? I'm not about, okay, let's do this for a month and forget about it. So I always like to remind people that treats are allowed. We just want to keep it to about 20% of the time. So even foods that people are telling you are not heart healthy, like a big marbled steak and ice cream, right? No, that wouldn't go in the list of heart healthy foods, but it doesn't mean we have to cut it out. We just want to keep those kind of foods to about 20% of the time. And so I have a little bit more on that on this next slide. So we've talked all about, very specific foods and okay, eat more of these and all of that, but there's more that you can do for heart health because it goes beyond just eating certain amounts, certain types of foods. Amounts matter too. So always paying attention to your portion sizes. In general, when it comes to like lunch and dinner, I recommend people, and again, this is not very personalized, this is very general information, but if you have a plate, to fill it up about halfway with vegetables, a quarter with whole grain starch, and a quarter with lean protein. That's the best way you can, know that you're getting what you need. If you are active, which I know all of you are because you just did a workout, if you are training for a half marathon or any race, with Ellen, you're going to need more carbs than that. And that's where personalization comes in. So if you're curious about that, reach out to me and we can chat about it. But just for the general population, those are my recommendations. You eat that plate I just said, and give yourself some time to digest. If you're still hungry after, go back for more protein and vegetables to fill yourself up. The next piece was balancing it out. So I talked about 80-20 before. So 20% of the time having those treat foods. If you balance it out 80% of the time with all those healthy things we just said, which you can see in this graphic, pretty much everything there is the foods we just mentioned: fruit, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins. They're all there. 80% of the time eating those leaves room for 20% of the time for all that delicious stuff down there, chips and fried chicken and wine and all of that. That's the stuff of life. I'm never going to tell anyone to cut any of that out, but amount does matter, right? We want to be able to enjoy ourselves and have fun, but we also want healthy hearts. So mixing it 80-20, you can do that and still be healthy, still have a healthy heart. I always like to tell people it does not have to be 100%, and it shouldn't be, right? It's not all or nothing. Yes, another question.
Yeah, I have read reports about the wine. They say that it's very good for heart, and you are suggesting other ways. So I was just wondering.
Great question. So I put it in the 20% because it's a very specific amount. It is a good news that red wine, if you have the equivalent of 1 glass per day, which is 5 ounces, that it is good for your heart. And then anything after that, it shoots right back down and it's not such a good thing. So red wine specifically is, yes, the equivalent of 1 glass a day. Good news. But that's when you really do have to pay attention to portions.
And that's about what, 5 ounce?
Yes, for the red wine, it would be 5 ounces.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, good question. Excellent. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about for today before we get into our what we're actually going to put into place is listening to your body and focusing on your hunger and your fullness, because it can be really hard to know, there's calorie counting and measuring and this and that. And for some people, maybe that's sustainable. I'd argue for most people, we're not going to be doing that every day with every single thing we eat. And I wouldn't recommend it unless it's something that you feel that is really helping you. So an alternative to that is really trusting your body and trusting that it knows when it needs more food and it knows when it is full. So I created this hunger and fullness scale, which really just gives numbers to the way we feel. And it's a good tool to keep in mind before we start eating and when we're done eating, to know, okay, where am I? And what am I feeling and what is it corresponding to on the scale? So the goal is to stay within the zone as much as possible. So that means before you eat your meal, checking in, you don't want to get much lower than a 3, which is a growling stomach, because once we get to a 2 or a 1, that's when biology just takes over and we're too hungry and we're going to eat whatever's around because we just need calories. If we're just between, a 3 and a 4, then we're still in control. We can make good, healthy decisions, but it's also time to eat. Then I tell people, eat your meal, eat your snack, give your body a little bit of time to digest. It takes 20 minutes for our brain to recognize that our body is full. So for meals, I usually suggest people wait about 20 minutes and then check in on the scale again. If you're still hungry, eat, right? Your body's telling you, I'm still hungry. It's okay to eat. And one last thing I wanted to mention in the hunger and fullness scale is you'll notice that 5 is physically full and 6 is satisfied. I recommend that people get as close to satisfied as possible. And yes, that is different. Physically full means I am not hungry anymore. Satisfied means I don't want to eat anymore, right? So it takes some practice to know the difference, but getting to a 6 in that meal means that you are satisfied and filling up on those healthy foods, and you're less likely to 1 hour later go back into the kitchen and seek out, the snacks or the treats or whatever it is to try to get to that satisfied point. So we want to get to satisfied within the meal as much as possible. And I know that was quick, but I want to leave time for our homework and also for answering any questions. So time to walk the walk. So if anyone has, a notebook, a piece of paper, a pen, you can even write it down on your phone. But writing things down makes it much more likely to happen than if we just say, yeah, I'm going to do that in my head. So all of those things we just talked about, all the different types of foods and the fullness scale and the 80-20, all of that stuff. What's even just one thing that really stood out to you that said, yeah, I could make that change. It's doable, it's realistic, and it would be impactful for me. And I want you to get really specific about it. So not just say, I'm going to eat more vegetables. Instead, you could say, I'm going to eat vegetables at every dinner, or I'm going to eat 1 more vegetable per day, whatever it looks like for you. So really think about something and write it down. Keep it simple, keep it small, stick with it, and know that even if you just focus on that one thing for a couple weeks, you are doing something good for your body. It doesn't have to be huge, drastic changes. Just this one thing, you can build on from there. It becomes a habit, and that's how we get healthy in a much easier way than trying to do everything at once. So yeah, feel free to write that down and can challenge yourself a little bit, but just really good to take something with us and put it into place instead of just learning and then not really doing anything about it. Okay, I went over 20 a little bit, but that's okay. So if anyone has to duck out right at 7:30, no worries. But before our Q&A, Ellen and I wanted to just chat a little bit about what we wanted to offer you guys for being at our workshop today. So Ellen, I'm going to let you go first.
Yep. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Emily. That was such a great talk. I love always hearing about nutrition and as a run to, especially being reminded of things I tend to forget. So thank you. From the Run Coach perspective, so thank you all for partaking in my class. So first I want to say, if you like this class, if you want more, feel free. You can join my class Wednesday and Friday this week. Every week the schedule is a little different, so it's best to be on my mailing list. But for this week, it's Wednesday and Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific. Okay, and it's a different Zoom link. So you can go ahead and you can connect with me on Instagram and send me a DM, or you can send me an email and ask me for the Zoom link. Okay, and my classes are donation based. So, okay, thank you, Emily. And she put my information up already. All right, so yeah, so that's my email, my phone, you can text me, and my Instagram handle. Okay. Sorry, it froze for a second.
No, you're good. We can still see and hear you.
Oh, okay. It froze from my side. Okay. Well, at least we got through the important parts before this happened. All right. I probably have too many things open right now, but anyway, since you guys can still hear me. Yeah. So I hope to see some of you tomorrow. Wednesday is going to be a total body workout, but it's going to be Friday workout is focused on core and abs. And it's usually about 45 minutes. Okay. So I usually have one for earlier in the week and then the other one for later in the week. for those of you who are interested. And again, they are donation based. Okay. For those of you who are joining today, so I have a special offer for you guys. If you're interested in knowing more about run coaching or, you know, what I have to offer, I'm offering everyone here a free 30-minute phone consultation. You can ask me anything you want about run coaching or ask me about my plans or, you know, anything you want really. So feel free to reach out to me for that. Okay, and I'll pass it over to Emily.
Great. Awesome. So yeah, like I keep saying, I shared all sorts of information today and very little of it was personalized, maybe beyond that fiber amount, right? So if you are really interested in, you know, figuring out what nutrition would mean for you and the goals that you're trying to reach, that's what I do. And I love doing it in a way that is painless and really includes all of your favorite foods. But figuring out how to balance that out and really make that 80%, 20% work in your life for your goals. So if you're interested in learning more about what that would look like for you, please do, I'm offering everyone here, please do feel free to sign up for a 30-minute intro session with me. We just chat about you really, about your goals and where you are and what you want to accomplish. And yeah, it's just a really good time to ask questions as well, but that's just a thank you for all being here today and doing our workshop with us. I put a link to schedule that session in the chat if you're interested, but also if you have any questions that you won't get to asking today, if anything comes up later, my email's in there as well. So please feel free to shoot me an email. I love answering people's questions. My website and my Instagram is in there as well. But yeah, I really do encourage anyone who's curious, sign up for that session and let's chat about your personal nutrition and how we can take the things we talked about and really make it work for you. Awesome. Okay, so now we've gotten to the Q&A, and I know we were pretty good about answering a lot of questions throughout. So I don't think there are any left that we haven't answered in the chat. But if anyone wants to, you can either come off mute and show your face on video and ask, or if you want to just type any questions you have in the chat, either for Ellen, asking about running or exercise and heart health, anything like that, or anything from my presentation or nutrition in general. Now is a great time to ask. We're going to hang out until all of the questions are answered. So I know we're a little bit over, but if you do have to leave, totally fine. Before we wanted, one more thing, we're also going to send out a post workshop survey. So look for that in your emails tomorrow, and we'd love to get any feedback. Okay, so we are ready for questions for anyone who has some, either in the chat or on video.
I have a question
Yeah.
to Emily. So I'm a strict vegetarian, and what is the source of vitamin B12 for vegetarians?
Good question. Do you eat dairy?
Yeah.
So dairy has some B12 in it. So you don't eat fish. Do you eat fish?
I'm a lacto-vegetarian.
Okay. Eggs?
No.
Okay. So if you eat dairy, there is some in there, but not a whole lot, like not as much as from, true animal foods. So a lot of foods are fortified with B12. Like I was saying with the calcium, with soy milk and things like that are fortified with B12. But yeah, that could be one. I know we talked a little about supplements earlier. It probably wouldn't hurt to take a B12 supplement just because your options for foods with B12 are so limited. So that could be something to consider.
Yeah, I heard that South Asians like me have vitamin B12 deficiency because of the dietary habits that we have, that we are, majority of us are lacto-vegetarians. I eat egg on a very little quantity, but if I eat too much egg, then I'll have side stitches.
Yes, so we want to avoid that. So in your case, I would probably recommend taking a B12 supplement because it is likely to help and isn't, there aren't many, if any, there's no downside to taking B12. So yeah, that could be a good idea for you.
Okay, thank you.
Good question. You're so welcome. Oh, I see a question from Sheila. All right, more supplement talk. Can vitamins be taken together? Ooh, good question. For example, magnesium, ashwagandha, D3, melatonin, B12, and C. Really good question. So the only thing, I know this isn't listed here, but one thing that I really try to separate from all other vitamins is iron. If iron and calcium are taken at the same time, the calcium blocks the iron. So we don't want that. So iron is one that's best taken by itself with juice, actually, because getting some vitamin C with the iron helps it get absorbed. So that's important. You also want to take iron not before or after a meal or snack in case there's calcium in it. So that's a good thing to know. The only other thing that comes up for me is taking, like you mentioned, vitamin D. So vitamin D is a fat soluble vitamin. So we want to take that with a meal because if you take it with fat, it's more likely to get absorbed. So it's kind of the opposite of what you were asking. Like, should we be taking these separately? But with vitamin D, it's good to take that one with a meal so it gets better absorbed. As for all of those other ones, totally fine to take them, the ones you mentioned, or really any other vitamin. It's okay to take those at the same time because they don't have those interactions with each other. So really, iron should be by itself, and then vitamin D should be with a meal or snack or something with fat in it. Really good question. And I'm looking back, I don't think I missed any.
If nobody else has questions, then I'll ask question because I've been asking, so I just want to make sure others get a chance.
No, we love it. Keep them coming.
So what are your thoughts on intermittent fasting?
Oh, I could go on forever. Okay, one thing I will say, if you want a very long explanation, I do have a podcast and we have a whole episode on this. So it's called RDs versus BS. So registered dietitians versus BS. And we talk about all sorts of things. But to summarize with intermittent fasting, there is research that it does work for people on the level of people who are trying to lose weight. There is research on that, but it's not necessary for everyone to do intermittent fasting. So I often recommend it if people already eat in a way that could be considered intermittent fasting. Maybe they don't normally eat until 10 a.m. and then they tend to eat and have dinner at 7 and then not eat again until 10 a.m. If you're naturally eating that way, then totally fine to continue eating, right, that intermittent fasting. But if it's for someone who wakes up really early and just is hungry and likes to eat and then eats in a wider range of time, it's going to be much more difficult for them. And there could be other ways for them to get those similar effects from the intermittent fasting by just focusing on, food timing and eating the right things and all of that. So it's not the answer for everyone, but for some people, it can be really helpful. So on the podcast, I don't think we call it the BS stamp. If it's, BS, it's not. There's research behind it, but I don't recommend it for every single person. And again, personalization comes into play. But it can be helpful for people, but you don't have to do it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the great questions.
Does anyone else have a question about anything? Just going through, I think we got it all. Yeah, there were some questions during, I think we got those though. Yes. Okay. From Sheila. Okay. Well, if nothing else, again, we want to thank you all for coming. I mean, if you thought of something after, I know when I ever attend these things, I think of something after, I say, oh yeah, I forgot. Feel free to send us a DM on Instagram. Again, if you're not already following us, go ahead and give us a follow, send us a DM, and feel free to ask. Actually, we do have another question. Okay, well, you can also DM us. Okay, so Sheila's question is when to exercise after eating or before eating times. Okay. For that, so from my run coaching perspective, it's very personal because everyone has kind of a different rate of metabolism and digestion. If you're running, if it's a hard workout, you really should have something in your stomach, usually in the form of carbs before. Again, depending on how fast you digest and metabolize, it could be anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours before your workout. If you know that your body digests pretty quickly, you can get away with something half an hour before. If you know you have a slower metabolism, it takes a while, like you feel that kind of rock in the pit of your stomach, you might want to be more 2, maybe even 3 hours before to make sure that fully digests so that you don't get a stomach ache when you start working out. And then in terms of the after eating or before eating times, okay, the after, again, if it's a hard workout, I like to try to eat something almost immediately after, right? If it's possible. And the after, I usually like to do some carbs and a bit of protein. The protein helps you feel a little bit fuller, and it helps, with the recovery process for the after the workout. Okay. Okay, and then I'll let Emily answer that question as well.
That was great. I would have said all of that. That's perfect. Yeah, and the bit about before the exercise, the more simple the carbs, the better. So this is a one time where I do recommend to people, hey, have something with sugar, right? The more simple the carb, the quicker it digests so that you can get the energy and just get to running or exercising. So yeah, and it could even be if you really struggle to eat something, but you want to have that energy, a sports drink is fine. And not the one with 0 sugar. Like having some sugar is okay because you're about to exercise and burn it all off, but it's going to help you exercise better. So yeah, really simple carbs before if you do struggle to eat something before and that you feel it in your stomach, the simpler the better. Great. How about whole wheat bread with tuna and mayo before a workout? So I would say, and Ellen, I'm curious your thoughts on this one. For this, I would recommend this probably a few hours before a workout because the mayo's going to have some fat, the tuna's going to have some protein, and the whole wheat has fiber. All of those things take a long time to digest. So I would probably recommend that one a few hours before a workout. And if you get hungry again, to have something quick like fruit or a sports drink or pretzels right before. After, that would be perfect after. Yeah, because of the protein and the carbs. So after, I always, like Ellen said, within 30 to 60 minutes after a workout, you want to get in some protein. If it's not a full meal, then you want to have another full meal sometime after that, but really focusing on that time frame of 30 to 60 minutes to get something in.
Yeah, I was going to say, I agree, Sheila. That sounds like a lovely, small snack or dinner or something to eat, a tuna sandwich. And I would love to have that after a workout, just because, tuna, I think of it's a little bit more heavier on the protein. Mayo's got a little bit of fat. That's great for, helping you feel full after workout. I probably wouldn't choose that right before because I would be concerned that probably wouldn't digest and metabolize quickly enough before my workout. I might get a stomach ache. But as Emily said, if you want to have that maybe several hours before, just to make sure it does digest. Otherwise, that's perfect for after your workout. Sounds delicious.